Reduce our carbon footprint to cut back on greenhouse gases.
Well, the same holds true for Wisconsin's mighty dairy industry. Cows have a massive carbon footprint, and UW researchers are looking for ways to reduce it. At the UW Dairy Cattle Center on campus, cows are being breathalyzed. There are plenty of spotted cows in this barn, but these cows are being tested for methane gas on their breath.
Most of the carbon footprints associated with the production and consumption of milk takes place on the farm.
Scientists say methane, with cows often the source, has increased exponentially in our atmosphere over the past 200 years. UW dairy researcher Michel Wattiaux wants to do something about it.
The numbers are easy to remember, actually. It's for every pounds of milk that you would consume, there is 2 pounds of CO2 equivalent emitted in the atmosphere.
And all that methane doesn't come from where you might think it does.
So the cow eats the feed, and it goes into her rumen, which is the first stomach, where the fermentation takes place. So 90% of the methane coming out of the cow comes out the front end as she breathes out the oxygen through her lungs.
That's why they're trapping the exhaled gas in what's called a green feed system, operated here by grad student Elias Udine.
For that, we kind of use a treat for bringing cows inside the machine.
You basically try to capture the breath of the cow, measure the methane, and try to measure the flow, how much gas goes through, so that you can measure the amount of methane that comes out of the cow.
Baiting these Holsteins with treats, they looked at which feed would produce the most methane.
We had 4 diets in our experiments. So first 2 diets we had low fiber, and other 2 diets had high fiber.
Obviously, we're trying to change the diet composition such that the cow still have all the nutrients she needs to produce the milk, but with less methane.
Measuring the methane while feeding was only the first step of a 3-step experiment. Next, they measured emissions from stored manure, and then a 3rd step last fall measured emissions from manure when it's typically spread on a farmer's field. And that's when yet another dangerous greenhouse gas comes into play.
The nitrous oxide comes from primarily the nitrogen fertilizer that we apply to the soil, and that includes commercial fertilizer as well as the nitrogen in the manure of the cow.
The goal is to help the dairy industry overall reduce its carbon footprint by 25% by the year 2020.
It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all, right? It's going to be a kind of a menu of options, depending how you feed your cows, how you produce your feed, how you handle the manure.
And by next year, they hope to turn over their findings to dairy producers.
What we hope to achieve is to provide farmers with, what fits best for their particular operation.
The UW, one of just 4 places in the entire world conducting tests for greenhouse gas emissions from the dairy industry. That carbon footprint is a lengthy process, starting with the actual feeding of the cow. It includes every component of production, including you driving to the store to get your milk, even what it takes to put containers in the landfill.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi joins us now with a look at your forecast.